Once again they actually deliver the final volume of Balam. Good to go, we're good to go, we are good to go. So yeah, so there we actually are doing the final volume of Blam. We're actually doing volume 6, which is chapters 55 to 64. And yeah, I mean, it's really sad to see this manga actually go, because it's just so freaking good. It really is. Like towards the end, it's a non-stop thrill ride at the end. I was like, damn, please don't end, because it's just so many things I still need answered. It's just like it's throwing more things at me. I'm like, please don't end at this point, please. I freaking love it though. It's so freaking good. It really is. Let me turn my phone on silent. There we go. Otherwise, it's gonna be really loud. So yeah, that's basically it. It's a really freaking good manga. I mean, if my series of videos has done anything, please go and read it, because it's just so freaking good, and everyone needs to read it in some capacity. Everyone needs to get a hold of it, just read it. So anyway, yeah, it's actually put on Twitter. I've actually gone live. So let's actually let's do that. Actually, go on Twitter and say I've gone live. Right, so gone live for Blam. Oop, no, Blam final volume. There we go. Well, there we go. So yeah, I mean, we kind of end it with the return of Sanokan actually, because Sanokan was kind of MIA for the last 2 volumes, I think it has been, since we actually last seen Sanokan. So now she's back, and now she's actually an agent, quite like Killy. And yeah, also we kind of saw the level 9 safeguard as well, which took over Sibo, killed Sibo, and now it's just kind of going around. But then now it's been taken down. Actually, now is a little level 9 safeguard. And Killy is somewhere. That's the major thing. Killy is somewhere. I don't know where he is, but he's somewhere. So yeah, anyway, let's actually begin chapter 55 reunion. Hold still. What's your name? I am Sibo. Do you know who I am? A builder. Sibo, listen to me. This sphere you have is very important. So I'm guessing it actually kind of is Sibo, but it's not. That's the major thing it kind of has. It's not Sibo, but it is at the same time, but not at the same time. I guess it assumes the identity of Sibo, but it's actually kind of it's level 9 safeguards. I believe Sibo is actually dead. Like legit, Sibo's dead. It doesn't work right now, but bit by bit you'll learn how to use it. Sibo, don't listen to what the administration says. We can't stay here. Oh! Oh! I mean, we were introduced to Sanokan, now she's dead. Jesus. Sibo. Sibo. Oh, it actually is Sibo. Okay. So I could have sworn that I remember something happened to Sibo at the end of the volume. Like she's technically not Sibo, but I'm guessing this one actually is Sibo, but possibly not at the same time. It's confusing, Sibo. I just went from worse to worse, actually, when you think about it. Jesus Christ, just went from worse to worse. Oh! She's fine. She's fine. I'm guessing she's built like Kelly anyway, so there wouldn't be a problem. I also like to end Blam by saying that the Emit is basically the most practical but also impractical gun in the universe. Like it's the most practical but impractical gun, because it's like, oh, it takes out a lot of things, but it's heavily impaired by the fact it actually takes you way backwards at the same time. Kelly. Damn. Absolutely damn. Kelly will save me. Kelly will save. I'm glad I was able to transmit this video to you. But it's been a very long time since it happened. Oh! Oh, here we go, boys. Here we go. Hey. Log 55, end. Log 56, people. We just got Kelly back as well. He's been thrown around all the time. It's like Blam will never change. Kelly's always been thrown around all the time. That's literally every single thing that happens to him. Poor dude. Even on the verge of like destruction, he's still getting thrown around. Poor dude. Huh. Is that Electro Fisher? Over here. Or could it just be a safeguard? I've been in the rest mode waiting for somebody to come for a long time. With relief, you look fairly sane. Mori. Mori is the name of the emergency save package manufacturer. Hey, come back. Actually, speaking of Devil, how long has it actually been since we've actually seen Electro Fishers? Like, it's been at least 2 volumes? I thought it might have been because I haven't seen one in ages, so I thought possibly, plus the outfit kind of from a distance looked exactly the same. But also could be a safeguard. Or an equivalent, I guess. Because it's been quite a long time since we've actually seen them. Killy, change your eye filters. There's a door straight ahead. There are all sorts of things here, but I'm not seeing any humans. Also, I've actually kind of realised something, that the design of where Sunakan and Sibo was, it was very human-like actually compared to what we've seen beforehand. It's very kind of structurally done like a human civilization would have looked like back in the day. Don't know whether it was actually on purpose or something, but it was actually it very much looked like something you would see back in the past, before the whole entire world collapsed in Blam. Because again, what happened afterwards, the ones that the builders actually did was very what's the word? What's the word? What's the word? It's industry basically. I can't remember. Indestructural. But that one kind of looked very much like what you would actually see in the civilization back in the day. I thought it was actually kind of a neat thing to do. It kind of like subverts what you've seen beforehand. Yeah, it's one of the, it's a really odd looking place because it looks so out of place compared to the rest of it, because the rest of it looks very I said the word. You know what I mean? It looks very like an what's the word? That word basically. It looks very indestructible. It just looks like that, but then that one looks like it was something humans would actually make. So it's actually one of those things. It's like an anomaly in the whole entire world. I always quite liked it. I see they used to be builders, but why do they have such abnormal forms? I'm searching for the net terminal gene. Are there any humans here? They're builders. They're builders. They won't answer you. Oh, they won't answer you. Oh. Oh ho! The human is dead. Jesus. Well, any net terminal gene? Maybe that was who remade the builders in this place. Kind of reminds me a lot of the thing we saw way back when they actually walked in on the thing that was actually constantly giving birth to clones. Kind of reminds me of that a little bit, but also a lot more scarier. It's very lonesome right now, actually, when you think about it. It's kind of gone back to that whole entire atmosphere of lonesomeness. 57, the Observer. There's an exit 3,000 kilometers ahead. 3,000 kilometers? You can see that far? That's some crazy high resolution. Hey Killy, you asleep? You haven't even twitched in hours and hours. I was afraid you were dead. So I've got to talk to you about something. Oh, by the way, about what generation is your body design? Do you have ISB 4 slots? If you have one open, do you think you could put a backup pin in it? Here it is. I'm sorry, I was just going to borrow your body for a bit. the exit? Wow. Reminds me of the end of Girls' Last Tour, when it's just kind of sitting on a massive platform. Reminds me of that a little bit. Jesus Christ. It's so huge. Huh? That's weird, huh? Wait. This is bad, Kelly. My radio meter isn't working. It's only picking up measurements from the floor. How rare. I've been observing here for a long while, but this is the first time I've met a biological entity. Decrypt structural parts or something falling. It happens a lot here. This is spherical. There we go. Space with an average diameter of 143,000 kilometers. The construction is ongoing. Are you the only one here? My theory is that some sort of raw material from the city were once stored in this space. As evidence, I can point to the enormous production facilities and buildings all around here. And the central access tower, which is still operational, must have been essential in stabilizing the materials that were stored here. I would like to investigate the tower more closely, but it has guards, so I can't get near it. Guards? Yes, there are guards. Safeguards. I'm sorry, but you're interfering with my observations. Would you mind going somewhere else? Damn. Absolutely damn. Hey! Why did you do that? That was a Silicon Life. Kind of like the end of the world, actually, when you think about it. It kind of like the end. It's kind of like what you would actually define as the end of this whole entire place. I guess it also starts the beginning of a new place, really, when you think about it. So I guess there's no definitive end. It sort of just continues and continues and continues. So when you find a sort of what you define as an end, it sort of just carries on afterwards. Where are you planning to go? Didn't you hear? There are safeguards at the tower. 57 end. 58 unbroken wiring. Oh. Oh. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh. He's found someone. He's found someone. Holy crap. Where's that signal? Is it trying to warn us about something? Kelly, what's the... Hey, Kelly, what's the matter? Kelly. 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 Oh. Oh. Jesus Christ. He plays no games. He plays no games. 158 and 159, the continuum. Looks very, what's it called? What's the word? Looks very surrealistic, actually, that's the word. Looks very, what's that movement called? I learned about it this year, actually. Christ. Looks like that movement that the artist started in the 1920s. It's leaving my brain right now, which is actually really annoying. So we're at the top. What's wrong? Be quiet. Uh-oh. Jesus. That's horrifying. Oh, jeez. Hit my bookcase just then. Man, Clear's getting hurt all the time now. Like, all the time. 59, end. Dog 6. We actually had like 4 chapters to go now until we actually reached the end. I was like, oh, just realised that. 60, organical. It's sort of like, yeah, it's like the end practically now. Like the last hurdle, as they say. Oh, you're alright, Sibo. Christ, how long have they been travelling for at this point? Jesus Christ! Almighty. Because there's no relative timescale in this manga, so you actually don't really know how long they've been traveling for. So it seems as if they've been traveling for at least, I don't know, 20 years maybe. Because Siva looks a lot older than she was beforehand. She's about that big beforehand. Now she's actually like that big. So they must be traveling for quite a while. Jesus Christ! I guess there goes Sunakon. Returning to base reality at once. The safeguards have been notified that the level 9 has fallen into the hands of the Silicon Life. The plan has been modified. There's no need for you to go. I can still make it. I'll get Sibo back. Administration powers that were appended to you are no longer valid. Of course, safeguards do not have your save data either. If I forward you and you die, you'll never be able to return to the net sphere. Made it possible to forward you. Use your own judgment, Sanakan. Also, I guess that's the first time. It's the first time I've actually ever seen those people as well. When you think about it, because we actually never ever seen those people before. I think up to this whole entire point, and now we actually seen them. Kelly, bad news. The Silicon Life took the level 9. Remember? The top level safeguard unit legally produced via temporary access. Wait. How are you? I don't know either. The words are just coming out of me. Allow me to continue. The safeguard has mobilized and destroyed the level 9 unit. If at all possible, we wish to recover it from the Silicon Life intact. That is because we found a way to save the city using level 9. We send you the last known coordinates of level 9. We're trusting that you will keep us. We're trusting that you will help us. Thank you. Ah. What the hell was that? And who's this we? Log 60 end. I take it that's actually the people Kelly was working for. That was just talking. Burning silicon. We've successfully detached the brain from the sphere. Something is forming inside the sphere. What is it? We don't know. We still haven't been able to unlock the parts that control the sphere. Hurry up, we might need it very soon. Ah, look, it's Dark City. It's the film. It's the film, because the film is very much like that. I just realised that's where this inspiration actually comes from straight away. Because in the film, there's actually a massive underground facility that has those people just in a massive circle. Very much like that. There we are. We actually found the definitive actual reference from Dark City. Which is also a really freaking good film. Everyone should go watch it. Uh-oh. This is a really freaking cool fight, actually. It's only told just through visuals. I miss this type of storytelling a lot, actually. A lot, because it's actually one of those things I really appreciate it when it does that. Look, 661, end. 62, receptor recapture. Jesus Christ. Absolutely taking the F out. See, but our child is safe. Huh. $62, end. Well, I guess now we actually understand what's actually going on with SIBO. 63, high-level exterminators. Second to last chapter. Here we go. Here we go, lads. pretty disgusting. It's pretty disgusting. I'll be honest. I take it Killy's arrived, or was that Sonocon doing it? Or neither. Who's to say? Who's to say? It's Kelly. Killy, keep the sphere safe. It's a place where it won't be infected. Infected? Bring it there. What is a sphere? Sonocon. End. Right, final chapter. It's the final one, boys. 64, recover personality. Hello. Everyone's asleep, so I thought I'd wait here until morning. Morning will never come, no one will wake. They can't die, so they're in perpetual slumber. What is this place? What should I do? I don't know. I'm just an AI toy. Are you crying? Come with me. I'll take you to someone who's in asleep. There. Hello? Did you come to this territory recently? I don't really know myself. Did the administration explain anything to you? No. You see, this territory is temporary storage for personalities with corrupted memory of missing bodies. For a very long time now, it's been abandoned, and I even have lost track of how long I've been here. Why has it been abandoned? Since the disaster of all the Netsphere has been malfunctioning, not just this territory. Do you remember the disaster? No. Do you remember anything about who you were or where you were before you came here? I'm not sure if this is something I actually experienced, or if I only dreamed it. I was on a quest with someone. He was searching for something that would save the city. It seemed like he'd been on the quest for a very long time before I even met him. What was that place like? Not like this place at all. There were buildings that went on, and we hardly ever came across any other people. Do you know what your companion was searching for? I can't quite remember. We had a sphere. A sphere? What sort of sphere? The embryo made from genes of two women were preserved inside of it. In the same place with no danger or infection, it would start to grow on its own. I think he was going to take the sphere there, but that place was beyond the final megastructure, at the city limits. Administration said that the journey there would be even more longer and more difficult. Administration said that? Yes. A representative entity from administration recovered me from an emergency save package. It had been overwritten with files from different people, but for some fragments of me, the rightful owner just barely remained, and I was reincarnated from those fragments. So you remembered? Yes. It was just for a moment at the end that I was able to see him from this perspective of the representative entity. But I don't know how much time has passed since then. Do you think he's still out there now, continuing his quest? I'm sorry, I cannot answer that either. Here, now, there's no way of knowing what's happening in beta reality. But if he manages to transport the sphere safely, if he accomplishes his goal, then we'll probably know of it here too. But now there is nothing we can do but wait. 64, end. File log, the mission. File log, end. Well, there we go. That's it. That's Blam done. Wow. That ending was quite... Damn. To say I know the whole... what the whole entire thing means? Not just yet. I think it's one of those endings you have to sit on for quite a while, I think. That's the thing. The ending itself isn't one of those endings that you can piece together in 10 minutes. Because it's quite in-depth, I think. Because like, we kind of got to see like kind of where corrupted memories go towards. I thought at first the person that we were following inside the corrupted memory world, as not in based reality, was Killy. I thought that was actually him. It's one of those things that I thought... So, because I also thought at the end of it was actually a paradox. I thought the whole entire thing just keeps going. Like, the whole entire sphere just continues the whole entire, like, I don't know, whatever happens beforehand. Because I thought to myself, the end, how it kind of ends, how it kind of begins, in some capacity, in some way. That's my first judgment when I first saw it. And I first saw the last page, I was like, wait a second, this is very much like how it starts. In that kind of way, but I don't know whether or not that's actually kind of the correct way of looking at it, because it seems kind of logical in its own way, because it sort of happens, and you see Killy again just kind of going forward, doing his normal thing. So I kind of assumed to myself maybe that could be the actual kind of meaning behind it. That sphere kind of just resets the entire thing, possibly. I don't know. That's what I got when I first saw it. That's the kind of assumption I made. It's one of those things that, again, leading towards the final chapter itself, it's like it's got a whole lot of things going on. So I thought to myself, when Killy met the safeguard that kind of started going nuts with his like mind, I thought to myself, possibly maybe that the rest of that whole entire volume is one massive projection that is actually not come true and he actually died. So I thought that could also be a reason, because the volume itself kind of does hint at certain things that happen with Killy, because, I don't know, it kind of feels like as if, does he make it out of there alive? Is he indestructible? We don't know. It's one of those things, because it's interesting for that reason, or whether or not actually we do follow Killy in its entirety. It's an interesting manga, really, I think. It's one of those ones you have to kind of sit there for a very long time to actually kind of gather your own interpretation of it. Because I don't think one's own interpretation is exactly the same, because the ending is quite open-ended. It's not as if it kind of gives you it gives you a concrete ending. It ends the whole entire thing. The thing finishes. There's nothing there. Right, okay. Right, that makes sense then. I thought to myself it could in theory just been it could have in theory just been a manga that starts how it begins, or ends how it begins. What should I say? Because it felt like that for a bit. I was like, for a second I was like, wait a second here. This doesn't feel like what you would assume the thing to end with, because it kind of ends with him just continuing. Like, it's not as if the journey's finished, it kind of just continues on forever. It's one of those things, it doesn't really have a definitive fin, in the sense of, like, an ending for an actual character. The character just keeps on going. So I guess that's actually his purpose in the end. Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I thought the whole entire thing just resets, and it just continues. Because that's how it kind of, when you think about it, because they do explain the fact that actually the thing has, yeah, the thing has a person inside it, by the looks of things. It has a person inside it, but how it also could have played out was the fact that once it actually does happen, it just kind of resets and the whole entire thing just starts from the beginning again. Yeah. It kind of feels as if that's like actually kind of like a way to fix the entire universe, but in the way of fixing the whole entire universe, it resets itself at the same time. I don't know. That's how I thought when I first saw it. That's the first assumption I made, because it feels like, if you get what I mean, the way it kind of does that. Yeah. But at the same time, if they finish their quest and they know about it, does that mean they go back to base realities? Don't they? So, in theory, if they know about it, that means that something has to reset in in its purest form, I guess. So in theory, you could have made the assumption that the whole entire world just resets and the whole entire thing just starts again. Like he's going about his journey, but on the outside instead. Like it's the same thing, same actual plot, but it's on the outside instead. That's me at least. That's how I saw it. That's the assumption I made. That's the interpretation I got from it. Because it kind of feels like that, if you get what I mean. It kind of feels as if it just ends that way. Like ends with, it's not as if it's a very freaking good ending. Like I quite liked how it all just kind of played out. It's one of those things that it's a constant thrill ride towards the end, and at the end you kind of get this idea that you thought to yourself at first, did he actually finish his quest? Because it looked as if he died. I thought, oh. Christ, 3,000 years. It's a very long time, because you saw it with Sanokun and Sibo. Sibo grew older in the meantime. It wasn't as if it was just like, I don't know, 5 years. It was actually quite a long time since the beginning of when we saw her to when we saw her just now. But yeah, I mean, the whole entire manga has a very, very different way to actually explain its time spans. Because it's not very kind of, you can tell straight away it's actually a time skip. Because the only way you can tell the time skip is by the people themselves. Killy doesn't really change too much. The only thing that changes within him is the artwork. Everything ever changes with him, so you don't really ever get the time scale with him only. The only time you actually got the time scale was Sanokun and also then Sibo. They're the only two people you really got to see there actually was a definitive time skip between the two places. And also I'm guessing the whole thing with Tokyo Heavy Industries as well. It's kind of a time skip as well, I guess. But I don't know. It's a very freaking good manga overall. I really did like it. I thought it was actually one of those ones that it sticks with you afterwards. I still sit here and figure out the interpretation for it, because that's what it's kind of one of those ones that it explains what actually could in theory happen if the whole entire world collapses. How can civilization carry on afterwards? What can civilization do? What can rebuild this whole entire universe? I thought it was actually an interesting kind of perspective to look at it, because when you think about it, it's very scary in the way it kind of presents itself, because it presents itself as if it's like, oh, it's not a bad thing, and they're actually building and building. But if you look at it from the other perspective, the way they're kind of building it, it's going too much and too much to the point that it's going to outstay its welcome, to the point that no one actually can in theory find a definitive end. You can continue just going on and on forever. Well, I kind of like it. It was actually an interesting way to look at it. The idea of how there is literally there's no end to this, and it can in theory at that point become a little bit more dangerous than what you actually imagine it to be. Because I guess it's one of those things that it just kind of keeps going and going. We even reached kind of, I would say, the end of it, but it didn't really feel like the end of it, because it continues on afterwards. It's one of those things that can just go on forever. It's a very interesting thing. So it paints a very dystopian kind of future. I mean, it's dystopian anyway, but even more so the way it kind of presents the way the world kind of rebuilds itself, because it's not as if it's kind of like, oh, I don't know, the world continues in like this post-apocalyptic world of just like radiation everywhere. No, it doesn't do that. It says the world kind of ended, and here's a new world, but the world it actually kind of built is even worse than beforehand. It's a very interesting thing, because it's kind of one of those things you'd imagine that robots would actually build kind of a better universe, but in theory not so much. It's quite cool. I thought it was actually a really novel way to look at how you would actually see a world rebuild itself in a different way, because otherwise you kind of do the exact same thing over and over again, to the point that it kind of becomes a little bit cut and dry, that you don't really ever feel that there is actually a kind of a world here, because it's the same as every other world in the world. Every other world in different storylines, but here it kind of feels refreshing, because you get this idea that it's not actually not Reblame 2. I got Reblame 2 next, don't I? I just remembered. And also got Read Noise as well, which I think is only 1 volume long. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that I really freaking like this manga. I mean, it took me quite a while to finish it, but I mean, as time went on, I think it started quite slow. I think it's purposely done that way, but then as time goes on, it just continues going at relentless speed, so you're kind of like, oh crap, the whole entire time. I really did like it. It's one of those ones that will stick with me forever, I think. It's one of those ones that I'm glad I read it. Oh, okay. That's all right then. I can read that then. Oh, my nose. Oh, that's painful. So yeah, I mean, really, I like Killy a lot because Killy's not a blank slate, but he's complex in his own way. Same with every other single character there. They're kind of they're very blank, but at the same time they've got complexity to them that really actually kind of outweighs what you would actually might imagine from a character like them, because they're presented as if, oh, maybe they haven't got that much complexity to them, but they're actually very complex characters that have their own way of looking at things and the way they actually kind of perceive the world itself, and then also stuff like that. And I thought it was actually kind of really neat. And each arc kind of was just like, wow. And it was one thing after another. You just kind of thought to yourself, I don't want this to end, because you can read it on for like 1,000 chapters, and it's still kind of just be wanting more and more afterwards. So yeah, and that is Blam. That is Blam over. I'm really sad to see this manga actually go, because it's one of those ones that I didn't want it to end at the end, because I thought to myself, the last section of the manga was really freaking amazing. So I just wanted to continue on forever. But alas, all good things must come to an end. So yeah, that is me done for today. So yeah, as always, you actually have enjoyed this whole entire series of me just reading Blam, then do leave that old follow on Twitter, and also subscribe and like on YouTube as well. Gotta read some more of Nihei's work. I actually might probably have to sit on this for a long while and actually kind of gather an actual kind of definitive interpretation, and probably by then actually might make an actual follow-up video actually kind of sort of look into Blam, because one of those things I want to actually kind of sit there and actually kind of just decipher it a lot, because it's not as if it's one of those ones I can just say, yeah, I can review it straight away. I have to kind of sit there for a long while, actually kind of piece together everything. Because the very end of the manga is quite symbolic in some ways as well, and I think also the beginning is quite symbolic as well. So it's one of those ones that I have to sit on for quite a while, actually kind of gather a definitive opinion on it. That's why this one's been quite short, because like JoJo, I actually couldn't just review it straight away, because the ending was quite easy to understand. Same with other mangas as well, but this one's one of those ones that you have to kind of sit there for a little while to gather the full interpretation of the world itself, the characters themselves, and also then the ending, because they all kind of just factor into each other. So yeah, until that video, which I'll probably eventually make one day, I will see you guys later. So until next time, I've been a driver, and I will see you guys later. Bye for now.